Hey everyone, Robert Ferringo here with your free play video for Wednesday, November 13th. Be sure to check me out at www.docsports.com. That's www.docsports.com. Happy Wednesday to all of you. Hopefully, wherever you are, it is warmer than where I am here. It's probably not likely. I'm down in Georgia, so we're in the mid-30s here. And I imagine most of you are watching from a little bit colder. Unless you're out in the desert. You're out in Vegas or thereabouts, then you're sitting pretty, and congratulations. So it's been a while for a free play video. The reason why is pretty obvious. I've been pretty terrible over the last 2 weeks, so I'm not going to come on here and try and convince you that I am winning when I am not. I need all handicappers go through winning streaks and losing streaks. When I go through a losing streak, though, I take it very, very personally and very, very seriously. I have talked about this before. I have a strong sense of my fiduciary responsibility to my clients. I am not in this. I respect the fact that people are trusting me with their money. So when I go through these hot and cold streaks, like everyone does, when we're going through the hot streaks, I try and temper expectations. When we're going through the cold streaks, I try and put my focus where it is going to make the most impact. This is the busiest time of the year on the sports betting calendar. It's also one of the most fun, most enjoyable, and one of the most profitable times on the sports calendar. So I've been putting all of my focus into delivering the highest value, highest quality product that I can to my clients. So paid off last night, certainly. I had our first really big day in a while. After a really bad opening week in college basketball, I found my footing a little bit. Look, really when we think about it, I had an all-time epically bad opening night. That has happened before. I talked about that before. One year I went minus 2,400, boom. Opening night, bang, you're in the hole, no problem. I think I went on a plus like 8,600 run after that though. So these things happen. And the reality is I have lost a 7-unit play and a 6-unit play already by half a point each. Okay, those were both games. Notre Dame versus over North Carolina. I had them at 10.5. They lose by 11. And Northern Iowa over Old Dominion. Had them minus 5.5, and they win by 5. 2 unlucky beats, really. And that's a $2,700 swing. So we'd be absolutely rolling right now if it wasn't for a couple of bad beats. But in the meantime, we're still doing okay. I've had 4 straight winning days, plus 2,700 over the last 4 days. Won a 7-unit play and a 6-unit play last night. Both of them were pretty easy wins. We had Miami over Central Florida. And if I'd been running a little bit hotter, that would have been my non-conference game of the year. I like that game that much. I had that one picked out, weeks ago, really. So we hit a 7-unit play with that. Hit a 6-unit play with UTEP, which I thought was a very savvy play right there. Had the home underdog. Knew that they were due. They were going to keep losing to their hated rivals, New Mexico State. What's going to be interesting is to see the return game between those two in a couple of weeks, see what that number was at. So they pulled the outright upset win at home. We also hit a 7-unit play in the NBA. Another easy money winner. Had the over in the Denver-Atlanta game. That total was at 209. When we posted, it was around 209.5 is where it closed. There's 240 points scored. There was 188 points at the end of the third quarter. We were already spending that money. So real good basketball night. Looking for another one today. Once again, I have a 7-unit and a 6-unit play going in college basketball. I also have a 4-unit play as my third play. I have 3 plays that I really, really like coming into today. Over the last 12 years coming into the season, I have hit 61.4% of all college basketball plays rated 4 units and above. There is literally no one anywhere in this industry that can match that. So, we picked up 2 wins yesterday. Let's keep this rolling and make it 5 winning days in a row. All right, your free play. We're taking the over 140. I see it at 140.5. Eastern Washington at St. Louis. This was my last play off the board. This was my last play. I ended up using St. Louis. I like the Billikens a little bit in this one. But I pulled this one off the board because I missed my 2 totals again yesterday. And I don't know what it is. As good as I am in college basketball totals have just evaded me. Success there has evaded me throughout my career. I bet I'm like 10 and 104 in my career doing college basketball totals. I don't do very many of them. So, I'm not going to rock the boat. Now, with that wonderful disclaimer on your free play here, I do still like this total, and I'll tell you why. The books are a little bit off on St. Louis. They have been very much a grinder team over the last few years. They played at one of the slowest paces in college basketball. Their pace ratings have been at the 300s. 2 years ago, their pace rating was 341. All right? Now, Travis Ford is a run-and-gun guy. He always has been. He was at UMass. He was at Oklahoma State. He wants to get out and move. He wants to push the tempo with his guards. He wants to play small. But he didn't have the personnel to play his style when he inherited the team that he did. He inherited a very talented St. Louis team. They've been very competitive in the A-10 the last few years. And he was a smart enough coach to see what he had to work with and not want to completely overhaul the style and system that these guys were recruited and used to playing. Well, now we're in year 4, and now Travis Ford's got his guys, and now he's pushing the tempo. Okay, I watched their game against Valparaiso over the weekend. They are getting the ball, and they are going. Made baskets, off a rebound, doesn't matter. They want to run. They scored 89 points and 81 points in their first 2 games. I think that's going to be more than norm. I mean, they're not going to score over 80 points in league play every night, but they're going to be hitting the 70s. They're going to be pushing the tempo a lot more than they have been in years past. Eastern Washington is the type of team that they want to get out and run the ball also. Jim Hayford, their last coach, he left 2 years ago. He had more of a slow-down style in his last 2 or 3 years as well. But Shante Liggins, their coach now, is another one of those guys. He wants to push. He wants to run. He's got more of a guard-oriented team, so that's what they're going to look to do. They scored 107 points in their first game and 74 points in their second game, and they're not going to shy away from a track meet. Eastern Washington also doesn't play any defense. They were in the bottom third of college basketball last year in terms of adjusted defensive efficiency, and I think St. Louis is going to be able to take advantage. The last indicator is the fact that this total, college basketball totals are pretty pliable. You'll see a lot of movement in them, but this total opened at 138. That's what I was going to post it at. And when I pulled it off my card at, it's now trending upward. So, I was on the sharp side. There are other people that saw the same thing that I did. 2 points on a total is not going to sway me. So that's your free play today, is take the over 140 Eastern Washington at St. Louis. 2 other games that I want you to keep an eye on and, do some research, do some homework, see if you like these as well. But San Diego State, I think they absolutely bury Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon is in a letdown spot. They have a phenomenal home court advantage, but they're going on the road after they wound up and took a shot at Oklahoma State in the weekend. I think that they're going to get demolished by San Diego State. I think that's a 25-point game against a 12-point line. And then Wake Forest. I did not use Wake Forest on my card today because I do not trust them. Danny Manning has been less than impressive, let's just say, and the Wake Forest team is full of idiots, frankly. However, there's just something about this line. I think they're due to cover one of these big numbers. They're playing UNC-Asheville, who is still rebuilding a little bit. 2 years ago, they had one of the better mid-major teams in the country. The wheels fell off last year. They're still trying to get themselves back up to where they were. I just have a feeling that Wake Forest is gonna come to play. I can see them winning that game by 16 to 18 points. That line is around 13.5. So there you go. Over Eastern Washington, St. Louis, and look at San Diego and Wake Forest as well. That's it for today. Check back tomorrow for another free play video. In the meantime, carpe diem and good luck.